started here. So what got you interested in coaching?
Good question. A big roadblock,
Uh-huh.
for the most part. Trying to unstuck myself, if that makes sense. I was in, oh God, I was in plat for like 2, 3 years, and then I hit diamond like a couple months ago, and then I got stuck again. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to sit here for another, 2 years. Like, I want to like kind of sort out my bad habits, fix some issues, and keep moving.
Okay.
So I don't
Sounds good.
get
Sounds
stuck
good. What
again.
rank are
Yeah.
you at? You said diamond, you said now?
Yeah, I think I diamond 3 right now. Not sure when I submitted the form.
Okay. Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
diamond 3
obviously.
right now. I've been hovering between diamond 3 and diamond 1 for a couple months.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Obviously, when and where the form is a little outdated, just let me know. Okay.
Yeah.
So how long you been playing Overwatch? You said plat for a little while, but when did you start actually playing?
Yeah, I started playing, I want to say like 2 months before Sigma came out
Hmm.
in Overwatch 1.
So towards the end of Goatsman at the pro level.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. What got you into the
Shortly
game?
before roll queue. My best friend is
Are you still friends?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, no, my best friend is a Grandmaster Genji,
Okay.
almost one trick.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Okay.
he's a GM Genji, and I've just been working up to queuing with him.
Sure. So what got you to
Uh,
stick with Overwatch?
oh God, I love the game. I'm very much in most games. I'm not like the most like mechanically cracked out.
Yep.
But I'm a really big, like, I like chess. I'm a very big like mind game player, which is why I like Zen is a little bit branched out from that, but like characters like Rhine and Sigma and stuff. I like that this game, not every character is so mechanically intensive, and knowledge can carry you very far.
Yeah.
And so that's something I enjoy about this game a lot.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. And what appealed to you about support? I mean, you said kind of, I assume something along the lines of what you just said is probably what appealed to you about support. But I assume that you tried a lot of the other heroes as well.
Yeah, yeah. I started on Soldier, as I feel like a lot of people do. But no, I support is just kind of a thing I have in all games where I think enabling is one of the most satisfying ways to play any game for the
Right.
most part.
Right. Yeah.
Whether it's like Apex or any other like hero type game, I always am more prone to play like support heroes.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think I'm the same. For me, it's always like the nuance of the hero is interesting. Is always appealing, right? I don't like
Right.
playing. I'm not more of a healer guy. I've never enjoyed healing, but like the healing plus the damage and then the debuffs and like it was an MMO I used to play as a kid. And it
Yeah.
was like the same kind of thing, right? I was always like the support, crowd control, debuff, buffing, kind of like complicated, nuanced hero. I like that kind of stuff a lot.
Yeah, 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 for
Yeah.
sure.
So your hero pool was approved. Both my parents are teachers, so it's nice to see someone that holds a lot of the same values as raised with, but applies to the things I love to do. What do you hope to get out of the session? A starting point for my road to master rank and foundation for self-improvement moving forward. Okay. Short-term, long-term goals, short-term master, long-term GM. Of course, makes sense. Sleep is a little bit on the lower end, but 7 isn't too bad.
Yeah.
I gotta say it. And then hero
No,
pool
fair.
as of the form, Zenbrig Ana. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that's still the case. On a little bit less. On I struggle. The higher I go, the harder it is because my hit scan aim isn't the greatest.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
fine because I can lean on the hipfire for the most part, but there are times when I
Yeah.
need to be hitting scoped shots on
Yeah.
like the back line, and I choke.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, I was playing ranked on an alt, trying to get my support, my Ana up to masters, and it was embarrassing how out of touch my mechanics on Ana were. I used to be good at the hero, and it was bad. Okay,
Yeah.
so masters as a goal. What is your training schedule like on average day per week right now?
Average day per week, I say I probably play 4 to 5 days a week,
Okay.
depending on work. And when I do play, I'll play like 5 to 10 games. I usually aim for like a one like rank up card,
Mm-hmm.
but if it's just not my day, I'll like take a break, take a breather, and maybe go back later or just go back the next day.
Okay. So 4 to 5 days per week, 2 to 3 hours per session, around there, depending on that. Is that fairly accurate?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. It's good enough. It'll do.
Okay.
In terms of raw quantity, I don't think there's an issue here. Obviously, the spread isn't optimal. Something like 5 or 6 days, even 7 would be optimal. And then doing closer to like an hour and a half to 2 hours instead would be optimal. But I understand that not everybody's schedule can work with that. But I think keeping that in mind, if there are weeks where there is opportunity to play 6 days, or if you could play closer to 5 days more weeks than 4, that's going to be more helpful. And then also as a result, you don't feel the need to have to play 10, 11, 12 game series if that ever happens. You could just 5, 6, 7, whatever, whether it's a rank up or not. That way you're a little bit more focused during your training sessions and they're happening a little bit more frequently. That would be the way to go.
Okay, gotcha.
So obviously everybody's situation is differently, but if you can lean closer towards that, you'll see some improvements. Okay. And then obviously I assume that time is spent on the heroes Zen Brigana.
Yeah, usually. I've been getting into tank a bit recently.
Okay.
But mostly, yeah, if I'm that's my go-to for sure.
Okay. For you to get to masters, I would say you would want to be putting around 10 good hours on support per week. So, if that's the first hour and a half, the first 2 hours of the session, and then a little bit afterwards, just tank or screwing around, that's fine. But anything less than that, it's going to be pretty tough. Even if we make that more focused with feedback and ideas to practice in game, it's still going to be tough, right? Okay. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? You say for sure mindset. I think it's easy to fall into self-destructive thoughts when games aren't going so well and it throws off the rest of my session. Please elaborate.
Yeah, so sometimes I have an issue where and this is more of a psychological thing than an Overwatch thing, where I'm very much a seeker of like approval through other people rather than through myself and finding my own self-worth, which is a problem I can identify, but in the moment it's hard, because you kind of get caught up in your own thing. But so like especially on Zenyatta, I see I switch like I did in the second VOD I think I sent. I just felt like Brig was the call. Zen's not always going to be the play, but as a Zen player, I feel like I get a lot of Zen doesn't do any healing, switch off. It's like yeah, you're not providing a lot of value. A lot of roasting on Zen compared to other support heroes.
Yeah.
And like because a lot of people have the like monkey brain, like low heal equals bad support.
Yeah. I was working with this Zenyatta console player yesterday, and it was the same thing. It's like I get flamed all the time for picking Zen. Yeah. It's like, it's exhausting. And I think the thing is, it's like you have to understand that it's like, I think part of being a human being, and I've had to learn this, especially as I'm now like content creating and social media, and like even little things like I have to do my weekly Reddit posts so that I can self-promo in competitive Overwatch. Otherwise, I'm not allowed to do it. And then I have to do, read YouTube comments and this and that. And some of my tweets occasionally pop off. And it just naturally, that's like part of my job, sadly. So what it does is exposes me to like a lot of people's opinions. And a lot of people who, honestly, I could not care less about what you think. But it's hard to feel like that when they're right in your face, Yeah. And so like, you're doing the same thing with your ranked experience, I'm sure, where it's like, there's a lot of people out there where you've just opened your doors to feedback from people that you literally don't care about. But as human beings, I think we're hardwired. Like you sound like somebody who might be more inclined to take too much affirmation from outside sources, like you were saying. But I think that's also just in general, human beings are built to receive feedback. We're built to be empathetic, sympathetic. We're built to be considerate of what others think because that's just important, right? If somebody that you live or you care with or lives in your community has something to say, knowing that is very important, right? Even if you don't agree, knowing that definitely influences how you act, how you live, or how you treat them, right? So what happens is now we live in an age, whether social media or a video game, to where you're exposed to thousands of people's thoughts, and the vast majority of which are not worth your time. Not just the people, but their opinions. So I think that's something that you have to be careful about, is like that our psychology encourages us to like listen and care about what other people think. But our psychology isn't built for us to be exposed with thousands and thousands of people's opinions that have no impact on our lives and we will never see or hear from again.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're walking down the street and random strangers were just like shouting their opinions of how you were dressed or how you look today. You know what I'm saying? Like that's basically what you're dealing with. Like, imagine if like, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good analogy here, but like any form of recreational activity was open to criticism that you were doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine like you pick a movie to watch and then just like 5 or 6 people just materialize, oh, this movie sucks. I don't agree. No, actually, this movie's great. But imagine you have this little discussion in your living room, right? That'd be super weird, right? But that's what happens every single Overwatch game. Especially because people will feel personally targeted by your choice of like, you're causing my fun to be less fun, therefore you should change the channel, right?
Yeah.
And I think just keeping that in mind, with a little bit of not condescending, but that's nice, dear. You know, I appreciate that you think that Zenyatta has no healing, but you don't understand the game very well. And I'm here to have fun and play this hero. So you can do what you'd like. You can throw the game. That's nice. Enjoy, you know, go along your own way. I'm on my own mission to have fun. So screw.
Yeah.
I just think you just got to keep that in mind. Just consider the source. Consider the source.
Yeah. And sometimes I kind of fall into the like, oh God, maybe he's right, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe I need that. And then I'll switch, and then after the game I'm like, why did I do that? You know, I should, you know.
Yep.
I
And
should've
those
kept
people
going.
don't care either, because as soon as you swap, they're gonna flame you anyway. They're gonna be like, oh, if we'd only not been on Zen, or like let's say you go to like Moira and you're not a very good Moira, or let's say you are a good Moira and you played well. Like, oh, stupid Moira not even healing, you know, garbage. I mean, I had so many games that this is the case. I remember I had a game where they were like saying like, if one of you guys go Mercy, we just win this game, and I was like, no, sorry. And some of the beta male, other support swaps to Mercy. And then we proceeded to lose the game anyway, because shockingly, my omnipresent hit scan didn't know what was going to happen in the game and didn't pop off with a Mercy pocket. I don't know how. They promised me, right? And then they go, oh, you're literally how your dog at Mercy, like, it starts flaming the guy. And so, well, congrats. You wasted your time, and now you're even more miserable. It's a lose-lose, right? And even in the games that you win, who cares? What did you get out of the game? Did you learn anything? Did you enjoy it?
Right. Yeah, no not usually.
So why? I'm not saying never swap, but swap to something that you want to play or you want to practice. You can't waste time like that. Like I think it's such a trap, because the type of people that are going to complain a lot about hero picks are going to be the type of people that complain about anything about 90% of the time. So there's no pleasing those people. They're the Karens of the Overwatch community, and you treat Karens in the real community and the Overwatch community the exact same. You smile and you nod and you ignore them. You don't give them the time of day, unless you're trolling them and make excellent, YouTube highlights of you trolling Overwatch Karens. That would be pretty funny. But outside of that, there's just nothing you could do about it.
Yeah. No, I agree. But, and sometimes I can so it doesn't always get to me. Like sometimes if I truly feel like my discords have been impactful, and not that the scoreboard always tells how the game goes, but when you have like 40-50 assists or something, you know, like every single kill, you know, I'm doing the Spylo thing where I'm orbing aggression and I feel like comfortable. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, this is like this guy's like got mold in his chair. He's like, I don't know. I don't worry about it too much if there's games like that where I'm already feeling confident.
Right. But in the games where you're not feeling confident, that's when you're already fragile. And
it's
you're more
usually
likely...
right. It's like they're if I'm already feeling like a little bit uncomfortable, they like damage boost my uncomfortability, and I'm like, okay.
Yes, it's like I'm already on a downward spiral, and then this moron comes up and just gives me a nudge,
and then I get like discorded in real life. That's
exactly. But you know what? People are always going to be like that, you know. And the other thing too is that like people are more likely to be toxic when the game is going negative as it is, and if the game is going negative as it is, you're more likely to be struggling, right? For example, I mean, how many times have you seen an Overwatch League player in a ranked lobby with like a 2-8 KD? You know what I'm saying? It happens. It's just the nature of being on a losing team. Like even if you're playing you could just be on the nature of a losing team or get a little bit unlucky. So you're naturally already going to be feeling poorly there, and your teammates are going to feeling poorly. And when a Karen gets a little bit upset, she's gonna open her mouth, and then there you go, right? Like
find someone to go after,
right? So
yeah,
and
sure.
you of course you're already going to feel bad, right? If things are going well and you got 50 assists, you're also probably going to be winning that game too.
Right.
So I mean, obviously it's not always the case, but understand when everybody's fragile and you're fragile. That's just all the more reason to ignore what's being said. They're frustrated, so they're lashing out. And I think it's like when I was working with kids with like bullies and stuff. There's a lot of situations, honestly, when I'm not the old school boomer type, but some of these bullies just need a rap in the mouth sometimes.
Yeah.
And obviously school discipline is a complete joke. But a lot of times when we work with kids and like the mixed martial arts thing, a lot of it was like trying to like pity the bully more than anything else, because you understand that like the position that they're in, and they're upset and they're miserable and they're frustrated. Not all the time, sometimes they're just tools, but sometimes they're not very happy individuals. And a lot of the bullies that I knew working as kids, and kids that put into my programs that were bullies, had just terrible home lives, were not very happy kids. So it's like talking with people and being like, hey, understand who you're dealing with here, can give you a little bit of ownership over the situation. And that applies, I think, to Overwatch too.
Yeah. Sometimes, and it's a lot of that. I rarely, super rarely, because I think I have a decent understanding that like I'll never go like going after like insulting them back is just that like you said before, that's an actual lose. Like there's like not usually any value out of that.
No.
But like
no.
Every once in a while it'll get to me, and I'll like type in chat, I'll be like complainer watch 2, and just like sometimes they're out of hand, and then it makes me out of hand. But usually
I think if you respond to it in a humorous manner, I think it's I give you my official pass. I think just responding ratio, just keep saying ratio over and over and over again is a flawless thing. One thing my dad taught me as a kid that I did a couple of times. I wish I could have done it more. It's just hilarious. If somebody's really, really just like creepily weird or rude to you or ugly, just completely start responding with non sequiturs. Oh yeah, squirrels are like that. Yep.
Yeah,
I wish I could agree, but I'm completely lost in the sauce, man. And just total nonsense, and you're sitting there like trying not to laugh. Anyway, but yeah. TLDR. Focus on the process, focus on yourself, understand those people have no idea what they're talking about, and obviously easier said than done, but really I think what makes Overwatch great is that there are so many things, little microcosms within Overwatch that allow you to like train for real life, and I think like it's kind of forces you to either you learn to adapt, or you don't. And I think it's a good way to like weaponize the time in the video game to kind of develop yourself instead of degenerating like most of us.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I don't see anything else in the forum. Is there anything else that you want to go over before we get into gameplay?
No, the biggest discussion point I really had before getting into anything was what we just talked about, kind of the like mental fortitude against obnoxious teammates or even enemy players that are like, dang, your guys' Zen is like giving us a free win, stuff like that.
Yes, it happens.
Yeah.
Don't throw your pearls before swine. Okay. Do you have
yeah.
I was gonna say you got 2 codes for me. Which one do you want to start with here?
Busan.
Okay. Get this pulled up here. So you are now part of the Zenyatta club. Welcome.
You have a lot of those, though, do you not?
Well, I think Zenyatta is just great, so I will never complain.
Because not necessarily it's a bad thing, but I know I found you specifically off of one of your older Zenyatta coaching videos. Not older, but like beginning Overwatch 2. It was a Coliseum one. It wasn't even a coaching vid. It was an analysis of an Overwatch League game.
Yep. I remember. Okay, let's take a look.
I don't know how important this is. Sorry,
No,
before
go
we
ahead.
sorry, I don't know how important this is, but I'm duoed with 10x and the May in this situation in all these.
It's really no, it's not really important.
Okay,
It's
I'm
not that important.
just in case, so you know.
I appreciate the heads up. Yeah, I mean, I would tell you, like, what is Zen good at? What do you need to be thinking about? But you should already know the answer. You're out here bringing out the orbiting aggression foolishness. So
Yeah.
I assume you have at least an idea of what you should be doing, whether you're doing
the
it or not.
the execution, yeah, it might be subpar,
That's
but
fine.
it's in my brain.
So then we will measure you up, your execution to what you should be doing. As it is, Gargoyle is a little late to the, oh my days, this is loud. Is that loud for you too? I put her way too
No, that's pretty good. Oh, but I have you turned way down.
Yeah, so you could turn the Discord stream up and then, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So one little thing to kind of keep in mind, and this is coincidental because this is what I was talking about with Zenyatta yesterday, is just play to your range, right? Play to your range. So
right.
Like, when you see this right here, for example, monkey jumps, I don't want you walking forward. I just don't. Yeah. I know it's a micro thing, but it's a habit that I want you to avoid. I want you walking sideways or walking sideways.
Playing that wall
here,
there.
right? You maintain your distance.
Okay.
Yeah, this is good. Good idea.
Shooting through the little hole under the drum.
Yeah. True story. So I got a kill from walking out of spawn on an enemy roadhog with a damage boost. One ranked game. They instantly left the game, and then and that was it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really frustrating. Good. Oh.
Absolute whiff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah. Now you can also be taking an angle here, get Harmony or Sojourn and take an angle through here as well, right? Remember, if you're able to keep your distance and keep your range, you can do all sorts of silly things with angles. Obviously the Reaper catches up on you. I want to move at a pretty brisk pace with this VOD. I would like to get through as much of the footage, maybe even of the next as well.
Okay. This one's not too long. This one only turned out to be like 12 minutes, I think.
Okay. This is another situation where I don't mind your spamming here. But there's also no reason for you to be rolling the RNG dice roll here when you can move your bottom in this direction to a longer sight line, a different angle, and be shooting tanks and DPS from here. Right?
Okay.
Easier spam. Yeah. Love to see it. Good attentiveness. Popper the wave.
Yeah.
Zen's got the Riz.
I think one of the like satisfying things I like about Zen is moments like that. It's like, okay, my Sojourn's running the Reaper, orb him, orb her, and then like she wins 90% of the time.
Yeah, it's better than a Mercy Pocket. Legitimately, it's better than a Mercy Pocket a lot of the time.
More damage for her, less health for him. It's like, yeah, that's very nice.
Ooh, okay. A little too far out in the open. A little too close.
I don't think he. Yeah, no, he didn't.
Probably okay though.
Push that.
So, tell me what's goofy here.
Where I'm standing, I can no longer see like 4 of my teammates.
Yep.
Standing right there,
and
I can only see maybe one enemy. I'm actually free. I don't have anywhere to retreat to yet.
Right. You're a little too close as well. So this is fine. Good. But I don't want to see you getting axed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. True.
That should be a red flag. Nice. Trance that. Probably should trance that soon.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, so there's another big point. I think my transcendence usage is poor, especially in this match.
Okay. What should you use trance for?
That was something I wrote down. Ooh, depends. But as does everything in Overwatch, I'd say for the most part, there are enemy ults I can counter. I don't.
Okay. Let me get you a pretty advanced little way of looking at it, but I think it's gonna help you here.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna whip out the mic. Oh yeah, you know it. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So look at this here. So this is how you counter trance. This is what you use trance for. Let's get a good font here.
Oh, good lord. Okay. Nice.
Wait, yeah, see, I knew I messed up.
Yeah, a little aggressive with the font size.
Dang it. This will surely, yes, there.
Nice.
And then you also get the brush here, nice thick, and then you underline it right there. A couple of arrows. But really, I think the worst thing that you could do is trance is overthink it.
And hold
go
it.
Like, and be like, oh, well, I can only use it to counter blade or just use it. Use it. If they use an ult and people are getting critical or under a lot of pressure, use it. If you need to use it to save your life, use it. I don't care if they use the ult afterwards and wipe your team because you used your ult. What would you prefer? You die, then they win the fight, and they still have the ultimate for next fight, right? At least give yourself a chance to win. So like I look at this here, and then we're going to pivot right back to where we were. They bobbed. Your tank is critical. Trance.
Yeah.
Trance. That's it. Now, you just have to use it. And I think the reason why this is important is I think that like what will happen is then you will play versus a blade, or a Genji instead of a Reaper.
Yeah.
And then they will blade, and then you'll die, and you're like, okay, well maybe I could have saved it there. But you need to stress test. You need to stress test, I think, with Zenyatta more so than the other way around. I would prefer you to be a little bit more liberal with your trance usage than the other way around.
Okay.
Because you lose so much like damage mitigation with that second tank, and like what's going to end up happening is that this fight's going to get really ugly. You're going to have to use a second ult anyway in Blizzard, and you still might lose this fight.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I wish you could see my smug face right now.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Just use it. Use it. Just use it.
Yeah.
You use an ult, people get crit, use it. You take an angle, they hard dive you, use it. Win the fight. And I'm not saying turn your brain off, but go into it with that mindset, and then every time you feel like, oh, I didn't need to use it, why? What could you have done better? Could you have positioned better and not had to use the trance defensively? Did you forget to track that your Orisa or that your Kiriko had TP or something, right? Then from there you can actually start to level up your use of the trance. But right now, like it's just, especially in Overwatch 2, just use the trance. Just use it.
It's like really trying to get better at something or get better at some character without playing the character.
Right, exactly.
Oh, like
right
a gap.
Now, trance.
Yeah.
Trance.
Okay.
Trance out. Win the fight. Trance your Orisa, right? Hey, look at that. She needs trance anyway, right? So, and then go from there. What are you gonna do? Lose the fight because you didn't use trance? Because now look at the situation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rough shape. Okay.
This is really ugly now. I don't even know if you guys are gonna be able to touch comfortably now. But congratulations, you saved trance. I'm just getting smugger by the second. I don't think I could possibly get any more smug, but yet
so
I'm limit testing my smugness. That's what's happening here. And it's a disaster, absolute disaster. Yeah. 2 fights in a row, even the third fight there with the Orisa just running her trance all the way into point to help her out, all of which would have been fine. Okay. So
I was trying something.
I'm down for that concept. But yeah.
Yeah, can't see a lot from
you can't
here.
see anything.
I found out.
Remember the positioning aspect that we were kind of hammering the last point was keeping your range, right? Unless they're on a Widowmaker. Now they are on a Widowmaker here. But this is like cutting off your nose to spite your face. At least the Widowmaker can't see me, but I can't see anything else. So yeah, I think probably rolling out here is fine. I think also rolling out here. I mean, you could roll out here and then drop to here, take an angle. You can roll out here, drop to main. Okay. You could roll out here and play your distance from here and then decide about whether you want to take space or not. This is just hard.
Yeah.
This is
me finding out I can't really do much, and then I have to get close just to be even able to able to see anything.
And that's the problem, right? I think a lot of people conflate aggression with Zenyatta with proximity, when reality, most of the time aggression with Zenyatta is just how much of a flank do you take. But if you take a flank at a distance, then you're not really at a problem, right? I mean, this is just, you know, free low. Hit your shots.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice, good Wraith Force there. I mean, I don't know why the Winston's forcing, but yeah, I mean, you just really messed their
charging ult.
I mean, let's look at that. You just totally ruined their Kiriko ult. Nice job.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing, but
there's some question marks, but I haven't. I'm not gonna say.
You could. Now, you could look at this fight and be like, this fight is lost. My Sojourn is dead. My Reaper is dead. That's when you wouldn't use trance. Is when the fight is lost, right? I actually think you not trancing here is reasonable, given the fact that the fight is already lost.
Okay.
But if the fight is winnable, trance. Like, let's say if your Sojourn survives there or it hadn't died or whatever, then you should have tranced that.
Gotcha.
This Winston is feeding.
Yeah.
Okay, we keep going. So, this is going to sound weird, but this might be where considering taking an alternative angle or flank might be helpful. If your team is all grouped up here, I think maybe at least worth peeking here, seeing what you've got. Maybe you can get the opportunity to wrap around. Like, I know that if I'm playing Zen here, I'm at least giving this a shot once, at least giving it a peek. And if Winston starts to look at me and, you know, starts to salivate, I'm probably going to back away. But I think it's worth a shot. Walking through this choke obviously is going to feel pretty rough. And then if nothing else, if you don't decide to do it, at least you'll have the awareness of things like this that should obviously have been dealt with accordingly with a certain powerful ultimate, which you have in your well, that was a short replay code. So
yeah, it was.
That's okay. Two very clear things to work at.
Minutes. Okay.
Measure your play your range.
Okay.
Don't greed your trance. Just use it to win a fight. Two very big concepts. Let's keep going. Do you want to look at the Coliseo or do you want to look at another one?
Yeah, Coliseo.
All right, let's do it. We got lots of time.
I don't have many other.
And if you'd like to, because I'm on a streak of live coaching as well. If you don't have any other codes, we could do some live coaching as well. Up to you.
Okay. Like me play?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now I play and you coach me.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I know what you mean. I could play. Here, tell you what. You pay me. I play the game, and then you just watch all the great things that I do. You know, I think that's probably good. Yeah. I think that's the play. So distance, but Widow, right? So this is where nuance kicks in. So we maybe go, you know, can I hear what angle can I take where I can play near cover, not peek the Widowmaker, right?
Right.
I don't think you necessarily need to be terrified of Widowmaker, but you do need to be like selective about when you're peeking her. Like have a right click charged up.
Yeah.
Have a Discord, know where she is at. Maybe she doesn't know where you are. Keep walking. I would be walking here. And then just moving. You know, just be moving from corner to corner, like turn around, you know what's going on.
Because I think everybody dies here.
Yeah, because this is a 1-for-1 trade, and you're just like, you know, playing patty cake in the back line with a Reaper, which to be fair is a risk, but you've created distance between yourself and him, so you're fine.
Right.
Well, you did, but yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Unfortunate, don't worry about it.
Trying to say,
yeah.
Send to Orber.
There's a Reaper behind you.
That's the other thing I'll do sometimes. I'll overextend, trying to get a teammate in my sight line.
Yes. And there's a tricky balance with that. You know, an Orb on a Tracer is obviously a big deal, but you know, if it costs you your life, meh. This is an interesting game.
Yeah.
So I don't love this. I think this is, you're like looking for a different sight lane. Nice shots. But I think you can just simply walk across here and peek here.
Up there.
Or look for the Widow here. Or look here, right? Or even just continue to do what you're doing here. Like avoid the Widow sight lines and spam from this range right here, right? I think here you have a worse sight line. Except for the Widowmaker, who ironically is the one hero that you really don't want to be peeking at this range, right?
Right.
Okay, nice. Get him. This is where you go melee range and just kick him in the face. Surely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't know. This is more like a Spilo lingo that I've heard. Like, but like sometimes I can't like tell in game. I'm like, okay, like am I pushing? Because I can like for sure confirm this kill with like a couple shots and a kick, or am I plat magneting? And just like my finger like fell asleep on W sometimes.
I would be pushing forward if you're like looking, for example, if there's somebody around the corner and you're just like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like you walk into them, you turn around. But if you already have the plat magnet is when you already have a sight line to do damage and you keep pressing W anyway.
Yeah, like at the beginning of the Busan replay.
Yes.
Where I was kind of like
just kind of floating and just pressing W, and yeah, you weren't benefiting at all from the pressing of the W.
Right.
This is good. Orb Curie. But see, this is where you get a little bit impatient. You don't need to be here. The irony here is like, I can't orb you. I'm gonna walk forward. I can't orb you. Well, it's because you actually pressed W. If you just Stood here,
back, I could actually hit him.
You could have had a great angle, great spam, and a Harmony Orb opportunity. Now you're in the middle of nowhere, right? Do you see how this gets really stressful? You could trans this, by the way.
Yeah, press Q.
Now, I'm honestly questioning this trance. Here's why. I think you trance because of Reaper ult. But I see this on my screen right now. I'm not waiting for Reaper ult. I'm trancing
already.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this fight was legitimately losable.
I'm screaming wall down, by the way. Like... But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Okay. Oh, geez, they are really C9ing you guys.
Yeah, forgot about that part.
No.
That did happen.
That's wild. Okay.
We'll get some Brig in a second here, I believe. It's when they go Sombra, which is
now.
Like,
so next time you die to Sombra here. Here it comes. Right? Kept good distance. Hit your shots, good. Keep your distance, keep spamming. Find cover and spam, find cover and spam. Too much cycling of orbs. Good, there you go. Nice! The goat! Get her. Spam time. Do you see how this fight has felt a little stressful and yet not super stressful at the same time? Like, a lot of crap has been going on, but you've been kind of chilling, right? Cycling your orbs, hitting your shots, discords, all that kind of foolishness. That's what you want with Zen, right? You want to choose your aggression, right? You want to be putting out as much damage as you can, but if that Sombra EMPs you, she doesn't EMP your team. That's what we want. I think a lot of people think that like with Zen's fragility, you need to be up close with your team. Obviously, you know that's not the case, because by being inside of your team, you're going to catch a lot of strays. You're going to get hit with EMP and the Death Blossom and the Q that goes spam and the Junker Queen Carnage and the Junker Queen ult, and that's the kind of thing. So I want you to be within LOS of your team, but like you're doing really well this fight, just because you've created a little bit of an angle, a little bit of a crossfire, just by playing your distance a little bit more. Now, situations like these, that's where it's hard. I don't think what you're doing right now is bad. I think it's logical. You need to be very careful. But obviously there will be times where you're like, I don't want to push, but my team is pushing. How do I manage that? I think you need to manage this as best as you can. Go up here, try to help this guy out, but you're ready to like put the brakes on real fast, right? Like here, back up, let it die. Just a little, but do you see it? He dies anyway, right? So the concept was fine. I think you just tried to help a little too much and ended up dying for it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're willing to bend the rules, but you flat out broke them, and then your Reinhardt died anyway.
Right. It must be then the next time I get like.
I assume you're gonna use your trans, and then probably swap from there.
Yeah, it's.
See, this is once again the rotations. You know, it's ugly. It's really ugly. Like, just take the angle here, take the angle here. If you need to drop this way. There's just too much time where you're looking at a wall, and not in a good way, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Fine. A little bit tighter to the wall here, and then this goes really well, right? Okay. You're just a little too far. You should be able to tuck in immediately. Charge a right click, and then you win this 1v1 literally 75% of the time. And by win, I don't mean you kill her, but you force her to locate her.
Right.
Good Sombras will be able to play around that, but this is not a good Sombra. You're handing her. It's free low for her. It's too
I
easy.
struggle with her so bad.
Hey,
And I know.
Play cover and expect it. Expect it. Like, for example, if you're Sombra, you need to go in right now. So she's going to go in. So you expect her to go in on you. As soon as she doesn't go in on you, then you just totally relax and play Kovacs. You're like, I cannot stress, 1 meter away from salvation. One.
Right.
Because by the time you get to the cover and actually start shooting, you're bumping on a wall frame here. You know?
Yeah.
You should have been here two seconds ago. 150.
Yeah.
150. You could tuck in, charge a right click. Absolutely. And that was when you do the plat magnet. Wham! Right? And she either dies. I cannot tell you how many times that, Sombras at this elo just straight up die, right? Okay, let's see this trance here.
Yeah, I really wanted to get that off, I guess.
He's up there. Do you see him?
Yeah.
Good. You kept your distance. I don't know if you didn't know he was there, but nice.
I called it out. Did they? I called out because he has Blossom, does he not? Yeah.
What happens here? Oh, you get a little distracted and your Ryan gets crit. It's okay, you can still trances if things get messy. Trances if you want to. Trances if you want to. Oh, he's gonna die. Trance? Ah, a little slow. That's okay. That's okay. Then we see the Brig.
Yes.
Okay. I want to see you finish this fight. Peek, 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 peek. Damage. Aw, not close. I mean, this one was harder because you need to play this corner here. I think the only thing I would say is no, really I don't. I think playing here was fine. She just took an angle from there. Like, there's gonna be some things where like she pops out and there is no cover for you, right? You could be like, well, I could have played here, but you can't see anything from here, right? So why would you be here, right? So this is just she just caught you with the pants down. She just caught you with the pants on. That's all there is to it. Okay, so here's your options. We can do a little bit of live coaching, or we can look at your Brig. What do you think?
Well, let's look at Brig, because I have been playing Brig a lot, especially with Junker Queen comps. I've been playing her a lot, and so I'd like to.
Skills you need to practice then before we move on. What are you seeing?
Okay, I have a little notepad going.
Okay.
I have play range and stop holding trans, you idiot, is what I wrote.
Brilliant. Play to your range. Be religious with cover usage. But don't be scared to take angles. And don't ego trance, you fool, just for a different noun.
Mixed up the
there you go. Also notice the fancy bullet points that Discord has introduced now. So I do a dash and a space, and it translates them into bullet points now. So I'm now a professional organization.
Holy.
Yeah. Okay, and then adding on to that, I think your orb usage was definitely your strongest point. Shocker. You were doing the right things. It's showing that you were practicing that. It was mostly fine. Mechanics, not so good. To be honest with you, not so good.
Okay.
Not a weak point, not a strong point. Exactly where you needed to be. But for you to continue to improve, you're going to need to bump that level up. So that's going to come from
I would agree.
Playing the game more, being consistent with your hero pool. Obviously, one of the things that I did that really helped my mechanics as well as a Zen player was grind out the tryhard. Especially for projectile heroes, I think grinding out tryhard and just dying to Genjis over and over and over. Tryhard FFA.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Dying to Genjis over and over and over again is the best experience that you could possibly get. Same thing with Zenyatta. Or Zenyatta, what am I saying? Tracer. Though that's what you need, right? You need to die to those guys a lot. You need to learn how to play cover. You need to learn how to win those 1v1s. Highly recommend that for a support player, especially.
I feel like I don't have anything for you for Tracer, but I do. Of all the heroes that drive Zen up a wall, Tracer is definitely my most comfortable, because I feel like I don't remember if it was one of your videos that I got this like nugget from, but just knowing where she is like half of the battle.
Yep.
And as long as she never surprises me and takes the first half of my health before I can react, I can usually at least force a recall.
Yep. And also
And
range too.
it's
If
not
you
that
can
bad.
keep your distance and you get one body shot before she can get close the distance, she has to make a really bad decision. Like if she has to use blinks to get on top of you, that's also a huge advantage as well, right?
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's look at some Brig here. All this makes sense. Yes.
There's not much of it.
That's okay.
Yes,
We can
it
still pull
does.
from it, and if we have a little time at the end, we can look at maybe like a couple fights from another code or something. So I assume you kind of have no idea what you're doing with Brig as well, at least to an extent.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
It's tough. I'll say the hardest thing right now is, and I know I've had time looking for translocator, by the way.
I appreciate that.
I think I'm still, even though it's been out for a while, I've been playing mostly Zen since the Brig changes, so believe it or not. Getting used to how to play her new ult, and God, I think the worst change ever is the range of the health packs. That drives me absolutely crazy. I don't know if that's the case for most people, but I used to be a lot more comfortable to like, especially because I usually play her with an Ana, which I am, to be like, sometimes if I'm like sitting back with my Ana because maybe they have a Tracer or Sombra, and I can like still throw packs up at my Genji or something. But I can't totally do that anymore, so it's weird. I don't know fully where to play, and I'm getting used to it.
Sure, it's like mid-range. Like for example, here I would like you to be playing with your Echo here, kind of like shielding this wall here, and then packing her. Reaper pushes her, you beat the ever-living crap out of him. Sombra shows up, you're there to deal with it. Like, remember with Brig, it's like all about controlling space and controlling the off angles by physically being there usually, rather than with Zen, which is like you could help your Echo, but you could be like controlling your own angle and then just orbit from range and shoot. With Brig, you just plant your butt cheeks right on top of the angle, and you're playing at a rank where DPS are going to be taking angles and flanks more often, so you're going to be able to actually help them on these. So for example, right now you're doing well. Yes, you're doing well. I'll end the sentence there.
Okay.
Now, this is where you have to be a little bit responsive, because I understand why you're going back main, because you're like, I don't want to go hard flank. But then the second that you turn your sight away, this is what happens. And this is like my catchphrase. Where is this fight going to be won or lost?
Yeah, against the Sombra there, yeah.
This is the moment of truth, right? Where
That'll
if you're
to,
not able to help, and there it is, fight's won. Now from here, do you continue to flank with your Echo, or do you go back and help main?
Go back and help main.
Probably go back and help main.
Right.
If they'd remove the glass, you wouldn't have to make this decision.
Dude, that glass,
you would just be able to sit here and hold this angle, or even wrap around here and look for backline, but you can't, because Blizzard devs are morons.
That's that's a whole other conversation.
But but this is really good. Now here, be careful, but at least you're on the Reaper and not on the ramp. Just be careful about that bash.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything here has been beautiful, except for that bash.
Yeah, okay. Bash is my toughest cooldown. I think it goes best for me when I use it as more of an escape.
Everybody uses it like that, or should be, 90% of the time. Now here, 1, 2, whip shot the sucker, please. Because remember, it's an animation cancel as well, right? Immediately with a whip shot. So flip shot. Especially because it's a Reaper too. Then you get the result that you want, and then you get the sweet mother of bashes out of here. Create your distance, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
That is a little bit of trollage there. That being said, we asked what would win you this fight, and surely,
playing like a Reinhardt will not win the fight. Yeah.
I think here, faster to whip and faster to play the cover here would be better. You took way too damn much damage on that shot right there. Oh, by the way, play Brig in arcade deathmatch too. I don't think they have it enabled in tryhard, but nobody's stopping you from playing an arcade deathmatch. And again, that's going to be the matchups that you need, right? You want like, for example, the mic, like you lose this fight to micro.
Yeah.
Right? Whip shot right now. You're too slow. Too slow to shield, you die, right? I think you also drop your shield there for a flail when you still at 84. I think this fight's lost either way, but okay, let's keep going. Because like with Brig, like you need to be comfortable beating most squishies in a 1v1. You're not going to beat most squishies in a 1v1, but you need to try. Don't worry about it. See, this is the problem. You're seeing this and you're like, oh, I should help. No, stop. Stop.
Okay.
Make sure that these guys don't die, right? Don't throw your corpse on the pyre, right? I mean, this, right?
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's dead.
Yeah, that run was gone long before I went down the stairs.
Flail this guy back. Help your echo. Because this is still winnable. That's the crazy part. Because you still hold high ground and the off angles, you're Ryan's trolling. Let him troll. What do? Oh, 25 extra burst pack healing. That's going to save your Reinhardt, right?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, not a chance. And then now you've died, and then now your Ana's going to die, and your poor Echo has been deadlifting and actually killed the Mercy, and still has her copy. And then what have you done? Right. Look at this guy. I would be so tilted if I was this Echo. What do you expect me to do, guys? Like, you know, that's on you. Now, if you want to be cheeky, you need to be careful. But if you were ever to use your bash aggressively, how would you use it here? Can you read my thoughts?
To go after the Sombra.
Yes. Why?
Who's already she's already less than half, so I will secure the kill if she doesn't translocate in time.
Right. It doesn't matter. It's clearing the angle, right? Clearing the DPS angle.
Making her move.
Right. Now, I will say it is a very risky move because the Ramatch might go, oh, she doesn't have bash and push you, but at least you could you clear the angle, and then if they push on you, that would allow your team to push on the ram, and theoretically you could survive long enough if you hit your whip on the ram and so on. So I'm not necessarily condoning it in this particular instance, but you can use bash to quickly clear out a DPS is kind of like the idea here. But you don't want to be like walking on front line and bashing into people when there's a tank right in front of you. Be careful.
Okay.
Good. Love to see it. Don't love to see it. Yeah, I mean that's rough. You know, maybe you hit your whip there a little bit earlier. If you have more confidence in your mechanics.
So as soon as the EMP hit, I was spamming Q because I was gonna stun him out of Death Blossom because I knew it was coming. Yeah. But the EMP.
My point here is that while you're playing, first off, double pack there in the Echo, no bueno.
Okay.
Yeah, and even the pack on the Rhine, a little bit of no bueno because it's your last pack, right? Right. I understand you're running Mercy Brig, which is something else, but
yeah, true.
You know, the pack on the Rhine is just, you got to be so careful. But like right here, you know, another pack on Rhine, the whip has to have already hit.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even a hard whip shot. If it does,
no.
He's over here death blossoming.
Yeah, true. Okay.
And you pop off the rally. So I think more of a micro mistake, so I don't want to obsess over it. Rally's good. There's your bash in. Clutchable. Very nice. Sadly, rally is now more something that you have to be kind of taken to rather than taking it to them because the slow change, or how the speed change rather.
Yeah, it feels weird.
But when they present themselves like that, yes. Now, where should you be?
Perhaps right side. Yeah, over there, smoking those goods.
Do you see the kill feed?
Yeah. Echo got rolled.
Now, I know you're like, oh, she's got a Mercy pocket.
Or
well,
Echo.
maybe, but there's 2 DPS here, you know? This is the angle.
Yeah.
You could, I'm not saying you can't sit here and pack your Rhine if my man needs it, you know? I get it. You're playing Mercy Brig, right? But for crying out loud. And that's it. Fight's lost. Also, bash aggressively. Another one of the situations where it's probably pretty reasonable.
I might here, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It's too late, though. Fight's lost. Like, you just have to understand that your Reinhardt is not going to win this match for you. Your Reinhardt's it's going to be about winning those off angles as heavily as you can, and then just die, like, hoping that your Reinhardt doesn't die immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your Reinhardt can just survive a little bit longer because you're winning these DPS trades, then maybe you can win it out. But you're not going to win it through winning the tank trade. It's just not going to happen. Wait for it. You're going to clutch 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 it. Oh.
Oh.
Disaster.
Yeah, so more Here, let me write this down. Although you'll probably write it down in the.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could do it too. I like your terminology though. You said we said idiot. Was it the one you used for the trans? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good. That was
perhaps.
good. That was good. Let me actually get my
Thank you, thank you.
thesaurus out here. Idiot, thesaurus.
Oh, we're getting
One,
creative.
dimwit.
Oh, that one's good. I like that.
Here's one. Cretin. That's a great one. Very
Oh,
underused.
yeah.
Simpleton. Ooh, excellent. Okay, so what do you say?
Wait,
about
that's
Brig?
so real. Okay, Brig. What I see, from this, is I see my bashes are either questionable, and then when the questionable ones happen, I don't have it for when I'd actually need it, whether that's to leave or to piss the Sombra off. Either way.
Use bash aggressively to dual clear DPS or angles, right? But have it available to disengage pushes. I don't know. Let's put it this way. Do I need bash to get out? Save it. Can use to clear or win 1v1. So, because that's the thing, it's a cost. If you use it and you don't win the 1v1, sayonara.
Right.
Right? It's a lot like Genji Dash.
Very
in that
all-in ability.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Genji Dash. But the difference between Genji and you is Genji can use his dash aggressively and he still has wall climb and deflect. The shield is nowhere near as good as those things. So once you've bashed in, you have committed. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but you've committed. But that wasn't even the most important thing with your Brig, I don't think. What were the other things?
Positioning, knowing where the real fight is happening, or where the real fight is going to be won.
To assist the off angles DPS trades. Right. It's not just the real fight, it's also just what your hero's best at, right? The 25 burst heal, right? Your ability to push is best equipped not on the tank trade, right? Your healing isn't good enough for the tank trade. You're too squishy to be flailing onto the enemy front line. I think that's very important to keep in mind.
Okay.
Anything else?
I wish I had more rallies on there. I don't have many other. I don't really have another code that I liked too much.
That's fine. Well, we're almost
Some
wrapped
of them,
up anyway, and I think what we can do is we can talk about how we're going to execute all of this. So,
right.
Big thing then is obviously being selective about what you do here. So you have 3 things with Zen, 2 things with Brig. Pick one when you're playing the hero. Practice it for that game or for those games, for that day, for that week. Doesn't matter. Just be very deliberate with your practice on that particular aspect, and then from there, whatever. Right? From there, whatever.
Okay.
Like here's what I used to say way back in the day. I'd like, you practice this, like playing to your range in Zen. Practice it for a whole week. Nothing but playing to your range for a whole week. But what I realized is that's so boring, right? Because what's going to end up happening is, like, even in your instance, like let's say you have a really slow week, you're still playing like 20 games, right? It's a lot of games to be thinking about one thing. So what I've realized is that it's sometimes more enjoyable to like switch things every day or even every game. Here's a good question. If you're playing Zen on like Lijiang Tower, maybe playing to your range is really important. Versus you playing on here, okay, maybe I want to be thinking about my trances this game. Like, keep it fresh, keep it interesting.
Gotcha.
I think as long as you're focused on one of these aspects per game and not trying to do too many of them at once, and obviously the worst case scenario, not thinking about anything, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Then you're fine. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies to the Brig thing, right? Just work on one of them at a time. Try to continually make it progress and improvement, and look for small victories, right? Like, you might not play better, but you'll play more deliberately, and that's going to be in the long run what's going to actually help you to get better.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Do you have any questions about anything?
Yeah, about anything. This isn't something we've talked about much.
Sure.
Watching my own replays.
Yes.
I just struggle. Not struggle as much like what to do, because I feel like I'm decent at asking myself questions and kind of analyzing and saying like, okay, Why did I die? Why did we lose? How long ago was the fight already lost?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm not too bad at that, but I'm more bad at actually doing it and actually going into it.
How long
And
does it
then
take you?
not long.
Like the replay reviews itself don't take you long? Like how long is not long?
Like to go through
Yeah.
one of my clips. I'll usually skip through it and skip to my deaths and be like, okay, why did I die here? I was out of position. Okay, where should I have been? Stuff like
Very,
that. Not
very
long, like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I don't spend too much time, and then when I do, and I don't do it as often as I probably should.
I think it's a little bit myopic to do that and only focus on your deaths. What I would do is just pick a couple of fights where you felt like you struggled or you felt like things went well and trying to see what you did well or what you didn't do well.
Okay.
Don't only focus on your deaths. Dying doesn't lose you Overwatch games.
Okay.
There's a lot more to it than that, right? I mean, how many times did you saw just in the previous VOD where like it wasn't even you dying, it was what you didn't do or could have done, right? So what I would do for your VOD review, if anything, is do like 5 minutes once a day and just pay attention to a particular aspect that you should have been practicing, whether that's the range, cover usage, ego trance. Like look at your trances. Look at your trances. Right. Maybe that's a skill.
That's probably my biggest.
Right? And just be very specific and deliberate with what you look at and do it quickly. Do it quickly. Eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
And then move on. 5 minutes. That's the goal.
Okay.
It's not something I talk about a lot, but it is beneficial just as long as you give yourself a very deliberate purpose with it, like training, and you don't spend too much time on it so you're not bored out of your mind.
Right. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. And then the last thing, I don't know, maybe you have a video on this I can go to, but do you have recommendations for like a replay system like keybinds or something to make it a little less clunky? I struggle with the clunkiness of it. I don't know if that is.
You came to the right person.
Oh, good, really? Okay.
Yeah, give me a second.
That's one of my biggest issues. I'm like, dude, it like almost hurts my fingers.
Check it.
To do. Oh, holy.
See, this is why I do this. I'm just the greatest of all time. No.
Good one.
I mean, yeah, there you go. Check it out. Only 2 minutes. It's less than 2 minutes long, so you should be good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a bigger help than because like that. Oh man, it's a.
When you do something as much as I have, you have to find a way to make it comfy. So.
Yeah, the replay viewer is something special, and you're always like kind of gliding through it. So
yeah. Once you get more comfortable with the settings in there, it will be significantly easier. So highly recommend checking that one out. Any other questions, mate?
All right. For now, no. I think.
Okay. Sounds good. Keep in touch. Good luck with
your practice. Will do.
Don't forget you have a free replay code review as